All right, welcome to Bringing Heaven on Earth, a podcast that unites wisdom keepers, healers, and inspirational leaders devoted to elevating the consciousness of our planet. In this time of profound change and uncertainty, many are seeking hope and inspiration. And in this podcast, we will share stories of healing, transformation, and empowerment, encouraging one another to rise together. Here with me is my partner, Angelica Coronilla. Yeah, yeah. Super excited to be on the show. Super happy for the beautiful couple that we have today in our. Okay, super. So we have some phenomenal guests. By the way, I'm Veronica Carrera. I'm the founder of Atortunti Holistic Retreat here in Costa Rica. So we're broadcasting live from here, and Nico and Karina, I'm about to introduce them to you. They're actually in the space, but they're in the different area of the holistic retreat so that we can actually make this work well with the sound. Nico and Karina, welcome. It's
Thank you.
so amazing to have you.
Good to be here.
Thank you, guys.
I know. Thank you so much for saying yes. So I think the audience is in for a treat with you. I've known you personally for a few months, and you're some of the most wonderful people that I have met in this area. So thank you so much for being in our lives. And today I just want to get to know more about you. But first, the first question we want to ask you is really what this podcast is about, and is how you define bringing heaven to earth in your own life and practice.
You should ask an easier question. It's an important question, especially at this time. And maybe there's no one answer and it's all individual. But for me personally, I want to rewrite every single program that doesn't serve me for something that does and fully express my individuality so that I can be that model for what it means to be authentic. And if I present my authentic self to the people, then it causes other people to be authentic. And all of a sudden, we are experiencing lack of falsity and pretentiousness. And we come as we are. And maybe that could be heaven on earth, is being exactly as you are without fear of reprimand or judgment or expectation, exactly as you are.
Beautiful, Nico. Karina, what about you? Like, what does it mean to you to bring heaven to earth?
I think I'm in agreement with Nico on a lot of the points that he's mentioned. For me, I think we forget that heaven is this life, this very existence every single day. And to me, bringing heaven to earth is remembering every single day that this is why we're here, to enjoy, to live, to liberate from old programs, from insecurities, lack of self-love, and really embrace every single day. Like I'm sitting here, and unfortunately those who are looking at us cannot see what I see. But if the view of Atartumti is not heaven on earth, I don't know what is. And to really to take this in, to live it every single day, because we only get one day, this moment right now, and it's our job to make this moment heaven on earth.
Thank you, Karina. I love the lightness and the joy and the beauty that you explain the concept of bringing heaven to earth. And I think it's such a beautiful combination with what Nikita just shared. Like, it's like rewrite the old programs. Maybe Nikita, talk a little bit more about what do you mean by rewriting our old programs? The audience is listening, and this is
Sure.
going to be broadcasted in many different places. So what are we talking about?
Yeah. I guess I can share my perspective, what I mean by that. Everything that we know, everything we've been taught, everything we've been told, I think of it as a program that we internalize and we use on demand to deal with the world as it comes to us. So if there's a challenge, we go to something that can solve that challenge. If I'm stressed, Maybe I can have a drink. Oh, that's a solution. Great, that's a program that I carry. And rewriting that program could be sitting in silence, or sitting and meditating, or not engaging with that immediate reaction and go to the easy short-term fix, but to sit with the emotion and not let it take you over. So all the programs that we have, expectations, uh, wanting to be liked, not being enough, all of that has been pounded into our heads for years. And I think it would be a great idea to get rid of all of it. At least if it doesn't belong to you, if you don't resonate with that frequency, why not discard it and decide that for me, just in my case or an individual's case, I'm not going to do it anymore. I say no. And now we introduce a better solution, a better program. So rewriting them one by one, first we have to identify what they are and then decide how we're going to tackle it. So gently and slowly using the left side of our brain to try to see what they are and then adjust, make an adjustment. It could be a tiny adjustment, could be a big adjustment. But if we're mindful of it, we're able to rewrite everything. Right? And to me, that's very exciting. It's a solution that actually works. All we need to do is to make a decision, which is simple. You don't need extra money to make a decision. You don't need another person with you to make a decision. It is on me. So I take that full responsibility to make a decision, rewrite the program, so I can experience heaven on earth from a unique vantage point of being me.
Very beautifully explained. But now you know I'd like to go deeper. Maybe this is a conversation with all of us. How have you rewritten your own program? Like, what was the program that you need to rewrite? Maybe it's an opportunity for all of us to share.
One example, and it may sound strange, but I am extremely lazy. And it may sound unusual because I may not be lazy today, but in my core, I want to do the least amount of work at anything, unless it gives me unconditional, ultimate joy. So, starting from that, knowing that I want to do the least amount of work, I want to make my long term joy um, self perpetuating, self sustaining. And I want it to have an effect of a snowball that is getting bigger and bigger. And to me, the answer is, how can I do it? How can I experience maximum joy? Um, I have to touch it as often as I can, assuming it doesn't hurt another person. And gotta start small, start with a decision, and slowly go in that direction. Um, it's the answer is simple, but doing it is actually difficult because
It's actually
no,
difficult.
right? We all know we have to eat well, right? We all know we have to exercise. We have to go to bed, not too late. But doing it is a tricky thing. So uh, identifying what it is that we want, and then with the power of discipline, making a small redirection of your plane by 1 degree, by zero point 0.5 of a degree, by 10 degrees at a time towards your true north, whatever that true north is for you. And if we set the course on true north, it will align. It's just a matter of time. We can do it in a year, we can do it in 5 years, we can do it over 20 years. But the cool thing is, if I'm alive 10 years down the line and I go slowly, I still arrive there. How amazing.
Yes, thank you. I don't know, Karina, if you would like to also dive in a little bit deeper on what is an old program that you had to rewrite about yourself.
To be honest with you, I think I'm almost a better example than Nikita in this case, because the transformation I had to go through was huge because to me, this guy over here, I always say you're a pretty wholesome person, which he doesn't like, but it is true for me because he was this true Norse that showed me that things can be different, I can be different, and I don't have to sit on those old programs of being a victim, which was the biggest thing for me. Life was happening to me, and I was poor thing, and life hasn't been very easy. I chose cards that weren't, maybe the best cards. You look at it kind of, from outside, but I understand that I chose this life. I chose every experience I've lived through. And throughout getting to know myself and living a disciplined lifestyle, doing things for me, choosing, learning to love myself, I was able to rewrite the program, being a victim of living poor me, manipulating other people to giving love and care and this, that, all I wanted to experience without knowing what I know now. I thought someone else can give it to me,
Yeah.
and that's my biggest hinge, I guess, is I wanted to be loved, I wanted to be seen, I didn't want to be a victim. I didn't know how, but little by little, with the help of Nikita, I started addressing those programs and having a conversation with my ego. I literally gave my ego a name, and I speak to her when she's trying to, like come in and be like, "Oh, let's not do this. Oh, you're okay. You don't have to push yourself. Have the extra ice cream. Don't work out." Whatever, old programs that she's trying to like whisper in my ear. And I say, "Listen, I hear you. I see what you're trying to do. I'm the boss. I call the shots. You work for me, not the other way around." I did work for her for many, many years of my life, but now we switched places. And I'm the boss. The heart, the soul is the boss. And the ego and the mind are the tools that are serving me. And I guess that's the biggest example I can bring.
Yeah, what I take away from you, even since I met you, is that hey, we don't have to live like victims. It's our ego that wants us to feel a victim, and that does not want us to be the queen or the king of our own kingdom. Yeah, wants to take that role away from us, and then what you're saying is like I can go from being a victim to being a victor and conqueror of my own circumstances. And so, and that's very apparent in your energy and every time I'm around you, Karina. And so thank you. And I want to ask Angelica, because Angelica works with a lot of women's groups in New York and now here. What does that mean for you to rewrite your old programs, your old story?
Well, thank you. I truly resonate with both of you when you share about True North, because when we have a very clear path that we can do small steps every day towards that destination. And for me, it requires presence in the now, to be able to process what is still there from the past and take the steps forward the future without going forward too much. That is going to create
Anxiety.
anxiety and probably a little bit of confusion. So that north is the one that is grounding me to be able to have these decisions to move forward in rewriting my story.
Yeah, and that's what exactly what this work that we want to facilitate for people, right? So let's dive in a little bit more on what it is that you do. Maybe just give us a little bit so people get to know you. I mean, right now we're started talking about heaven on earth. People already know through a few episodes, and we are the owners of this holistic retreat on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, and that we invite people to this transformative experiences here on the Pacific coast of this beautiful land and this beautiful country. But who are you? Like, what do you do? What do you used to do? What do you do now? Give us a little bit more of a sense of who you are.
Sure. Maybe I can start with a little background, a little story. I actually taught chemistry, biology, and grade 9 and grade 10 science at a Canadian high school. And I've done that for 10 years. And the last year and a half, I actually decided to share with the kids something that they don't hear too often, which is how to deal with the big topic is mental health. Everyone's impacted by it somehow. So I thought I'll do a good thing and share with the kids what it is to take control of that mental health. I started talking about facing fear, once taking responsibility, maybe taking a cold shower, and really feeling who you are and how you deal with stress. Some students loved it, some students didn't. And at some point, I ended up at the principal's office and I was told that I should stop talking about it, which was very strange to me. I really was shocked. And I was informed that there are people at the board level who are dealing with these issues. So I should just stick to the curriculum. In my defense, I said, well, we're about digestive system, right? Grade 11 biology. I can talk about all the processes and the digestive system is muscle. It needs rest sometimes, and we should give it some rest so that it can do what it does and eliminate toxins and anything that's not used by the body. I was told that I should stick to the curriculum and not open my mouth, essentially, which was a shock. And I couldn't understand why. This information is actually useful and helpful, and I'm prevented from talking about it. So right then and there, I realized that I have to step outside of the system. It is such a machine where you get money from the number of students who enroll, and everything is lined up from the board down. You're a number as a teacher and also as a student, but I couldn't accept that essentially. So I decided that I'll open up my own school and I will teach my own curriculum and I'll be the boss and no one will be able to tell me what I can or can't say. And I had that idea and actually 6 years down the line, it is a reality, and I have Plug and Mind Academy where we teach everything that I was sharing with students in a very meaningful way that empowers people to take action. So that's in a nutshell where we are. We do it through courses, we do it through analog work, one-on-one, small groups. The goal is to really empower people to step into their own essence, say no to what they're not going to be dealing with very calmly and firmly, and start walking in a direction of their choosing, what they really feel rather than what they're told. And to me, that's important work. Being a teacher, I feel that this is where I should be. Luckily, I have created the atmosphere for myself to share these things. So, Plug in Mind Academy is that platform, is that space where we share the works. And actually, it's really simple. That's the most amazing thing. It's relatively simple to turn everything around. We need some choice and a bit of desire and a bit of self-love.
A little bit of self-love. So, Blogging Academy,
Sure.
what you're teaching is a new way of thinking about education. It's not about the old structure, but it's about, yes, the learning, the knowledge, but it's also about personal transformation.
Sure. Bless you.
Excuse me.
I guess the big question is, what would be the best life that people can enjoy on the planet? What is their personal heaven on earth? And that's the question. What does it look like to you? Who is in it? What are you doing? feeling? What is your relationship like with your mind, with your ego? Uh, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself stuck in a 9 to 5, or in traffic, or in the snow? What do you want, essentially? And it's a simple question, but not a lot of people take the time to really unfold that because they are so busy. The system is working against them, and they're so busy to make ends meet and make the money and take the kids to practice and extracurriculars. And oh my God, I have no time. All I can do to relax is have a glass of wine or two, which can work, but that's almost we're catching up. I want to thrive. I don't want to catch up. And I don't want to play by someone else's rules of what I am and what I want. I need to listen to me and then make those decisions. So we try to encourage people to take that decision and step outside of what's expected and tune in to what do you really want. And sometimes it's so difficult because I never ask myself that question, what I want. Well, we have to start thinking and start really committing, maybe to long life, maybe to exercise, maybe to other things. And it's very unique to every person. That's why no one size fits all. It's very individual. So we
Got it.
guide, facilitate that for people.
You guide people really to connect to their truest and most authentic desires to live their best life. And what does that look like? You co-design it with your clients.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
we guide. I guess we try not to teach because there's nothing to teach except for support and maybe consider alternatives. And sometimes that's all people need is to reframe what it is that's available to them, what it is that's not available. Let's say I didn't think I was a good musician for 20 plus years because my grandmother told me that I wasn't, and I believed her unconditionally. So I thought that poor me, I can never be a musician, play and sing and express myself, which I had to consciously undo. And I'm happy to say that I have made huge progress. Now I enjoy despite what I believed in the past. So, being an example, I help people to step into their power in a small way.
I love that. So this is a good nugget of the essence of what the message of what you're conveying is really you help people to connect to their own essence of what they really want in life because you're doing it yourself. You had to go through that process yourself. And then this leads me to the next question, Karina. You, as part of your work now together, I know that you work together helping people go through healing and transformative experiences. And that's what you do here in Samara, Costa Rica. So one of your focuses is on helping people move through their shadows and discovering their true selves. Talk to me a little bit more about that. How have you been able to then move through your own shadows, discover your own true self, and help clients do the same?
Thank you for asking. It's very it was a very heavy topic for me for many years until I was able to really move through my own shadow to be able to speak about it freely. And I went through sexual abuse as a child. I went through physical abuse, abandonment. There was, like as I said, the cards I chose weren't the best cards. I guess if you look at it from the perspective of a victim mentality. But I also understand that every experience I chose, my soul chose it for my own growth, for my own good. And through this work and through facing myself, I was able to own everything that happened and make it into a blessing rather than a curse. So to me, working through your own shadow is really accepting all parts of you and taking that unloved inner child that unheard inner teenager, you know, hearted um, adult, and reining them all in and putting them all together and really holding them all and loving them and giving them voice, giving them love, sitting with the pain and sitting with the discomfort and facing it through many different modalities that we use during our retreats and our work, and accepting and loving yourself no matter what happened to you, because for many years what happened to me was defined by, and when you are a child, that innocence, that connection with the creator is taken away from you. All my life I thought no talents. I was this average girl that cannot do anything, and kind of like played it small and played it safe until the time when I chose to face myself, rein in all of me, and I realized actually I do have a lot of talent, and I can do things, and I don't have to shy away and play small. I can be as big as I am. I can share my truth. I can share my love, my wisdom that I've accumulated through life. I also understand that it can be triggering, and that some people don't like it and they feel very triggered by it. And to me, that's a good thing, because I think a true healer has to be triggered. Because my job is to cast the shadow of a person like I do with myself, and to help them see that this is not a weakness. This is your strength. All you need to do is shift your perspective. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. It's loving all parts of it, especially those parts we don't want to love, those parts we're embarrassed or we wish never happened. No, we bring them in and we give them the love and the care they deserve. It's like, by darkness. That's how I see it. Darkness, you have to love it. And that's when it loses its power.
Yeah.
That's why we love our own darkness, and through that we bring it to light.
I love that, because I think that that's one of the reasons why we have so many people, including us at many points in our lives, feeling that we're not enough, feeling that our shadows, and what we mean by shadows is those aspects of us and that seem to be unhealed and unresolved, parts of our personalities that we know are not in alignment of who we want to be or how we want to show up in the world. And so when because we know ourselves more than other people, so we know exactly when we experience anger, hate, disappointment, jealousy, competition, and we may not like those parts of ourselves. So what you're saying is like, how do you attend to those parts, and how do you embrace it? And this is something that you talk about a lot. So perhaps you can elaborate a little bit more on the shadows and the light. What does it mean for someone that has not done this type of work before?
Yes, I truly feel you, both of you, when you share that you embrace the love as your part of your North truth when you work with individuals or groups. And I felt this experience myself with both of you. And so thank you for for your work, because I felt held and safe. And that's what it's about. How we can be in service, creating this safety container for our people that we're serving in the moment, and without judgment, without any low frequency energies that are going to bring them down, but how we can lift them to finalize, get to the point of getting back to love, because that's the true north. How I can go back home, which is myself and my self love. So thank you for sharing that. I truly hear you, and I felt this from both of you.
Thank you.
All right. So we're coming towards a little bit towards the end of this short this podcast. And I wanted to just ask you, right? Uh, as you hold space for others in your journeys, and you talked about helping people connect through their most authentic selves, help people go from victimhood to empowerment, help people go from feelings of I'm not enough, I'm not enough to self love, help people go from I'm not sure what I want to do with my life because they have been subjected to their programming to now I want to own my own voice. I want to have more clarity on what my true north really is. And this is something that we do here and that you do, and we do this together. So how do you do that? If give people a little bit of a glimpse, like what is your secret sauce, if I may say, or your purpose on how you share space with others?
Well, I love this question. And it's so hard to really kind of put it all together, but really to us, every single person that comes to work with us, and you know that, like we go through such deep and vulnerable moments that they become our family. Really, like we have extended family all over the world, and I'm so blessed to be able to sit with a person. Like a lot of what we do is talking and reading between the lines and asking certain questions. And sometimes, it's just a conversation that we're having before we even start doing the work. And all of a sudden, person is like, wait a second, I'm having an aha moment. Why did I not think about it? Like, why did I never question this? So, it's really dissecting every single little limited belief that a person has and looking for the root cause where it's coming from, and then removing it and replanting the love, the beauty. you know Through that comes facing fears, dealing with a discomfort, because we work with cold water, we work with breath work, we work with so many different modalities where people have to come out of their comfort zones. They have to feel things they may not like to feel. But through that process, they really get to know who they are. They get to understand how powerful they are and how little credit they gave to themselves. And they kind of flourish and open up into this beautiful flower throughout the time that we're together. And the slogan of Plug in Mind is feel, empower, heal. And that's exactly what we help people do. Feel everything that they want and don't want to feel. And then we help them empower themselves, because we truly believe we cannot heal anyone. We don't have those powers, but we can hold a very strong container for a person to heal themselves. And we can guide them and push them and, gently help them navigate this new reality, this, new me, like who I am, what do I want, what can I do, where was I selling myself short? And we help them move through that process, through the questions, through the insecurities, and all aspects of I am, connection with divinity, really, because we are all God, just expressions of God walking this earth, and we forget. And I feel like our job is to help people remember that you're not this body, you're not this, little person going to work doing the thing. No, you are God walking and feeling, living this earth experience. And I think you have something to
Yeah,
add.
Veronica, you asked about the secret sauce, and that's a really great question because what is the where do you start? How do you do it, right? Because all of this sounds wonderful, but what about practical applications in our daily lives, right? Something great if everyone had a recipe. And I think for me, the answer is make friends with your mind. At the end of the day,
Make friends with,
make friends with your mind, with your
make
ego.
friends with your mind, with your ego.
Because we are eternal beings of love. We happen to be in the body, and then we happen to leave the body at some point. So while you're with the body, you have a best friend. That is your ego. And you are locked in. You can't get rid of him. You can't tell him to go take a hike. It is always with you. It's talking, analyzing, critiquing, suggesting. So, what do I do with that part of me? I can scold it. Great, that's an option that's available. I can come to it with love. I can explain what I expect and then train it to work on my behalf. So you end up having personal AI without having the AI part in it, but it's a personal assistant that is on call 24/7, that is ready, willing, eager to give you what you want. But sometimes it runs old, outdated programs. So we need to recognize that, rewrite the programs, and let it do its job while we course correct 1 degree at a time. So to me, it's that simple. It really is. But we need to recognize that for me, I'm taking full responsibility for the training process. And however long that it takes, it may take me all the way to the end of my life. But I think the dividends will start being accumulated a lot earlier. So within just a few years, you get to live a completely different life out of a different mindset. So the quality of the life increases, and whatever days I have left on earth, I get to enjoy them. And I decide, I sign off on the dotted line how my life is going to unfold. And to me, that's so exciting because I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to look at anyone out there and model them. I use people as inspiration. Oh my God, they know how to play music so beautifully. Oh, I'm so jealous. No, for showing me what's available. Oh, wow, it excites me so much. I think I want to invest into that part of me and develop. Or I see a person who speaks eloquently. Oh my God, what a beautiful way of carrying yourself. Love it. Thank you. Instead of, but I don't have it, but you have it. Poor me, I'm a loser. Everything falls apart. Thank you for that experience. Now I can redirect and gently and slowly arrive to my true, authentic, pure, quirky, childlike, playful nature. And if everyone did that, what would happen? If everyone decided that, you know what, I'm not listening to anything I'm being told, or at least I'm going to question it, not take it at face value, but question and decide, thank you, but for me, no, that's not the answer. What is the answer for me? Let me find out. Let me play. Let me play and really stumble upon it. And maybe I can to support myself.
That's very different than what I heard many times. I heard we must get rid of the ego. The ego is the enemy, and we need to be a better human being. And what you're saying is just dance with your ego and teach the ego and train the ego to work for you to help you move forward in life. And I love the examples you gave, like, oh, this person plays guitar so well, and it's really what the ego is doing. What the ego is doing is showing you, um, and just it's showing you what you may want to do. It inspires you, but first it's going to do it in a way that perhaps is not the most helpful. You
Mhm.
just sit with it, just like Karina said. Say, huh, I'm feeling jealous. Great. I'm feeling jealous. Okay. I'm not going to
So how
judge.
can I learn from this, right? How can I change from this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, there's a reason. There's a part of me that feels jealous for certain reasons, love myself regardless, and then say, how do I alchemize this feeling?
Hmm.
Exactly.
So that then it moves me towards a more elevated state of being. And
Hmm.
perhaps
Exactly.
moves me to eventually being a great guitarist like Nikita, you know? And so it just takes it, you alchemize it, take all of these negative emotions that we have when we don't get along, when we don't, like something, just like how do we alchemize it? It's supposed to be there. Instead of hating it and hating yourself for it, why don't you just learn to be a great alchemist? We
I
are the
like
great alchemist. Yeah,
yes.
and what you two beautifully do, and what we also facilitate in this space, is help people alchemize their lives so they can connect with their own heart, with their own purpose, and they are more clear on what their true north is. And they
Exactly.
in turn can become great alchemists of their own lives and their own stories and rewrite their own story.
Beautiful.
I
Exactly.
love how you put it. Exactly. Because as you've mentioned, we can't kill the ego. Well, I guess we can for a few moments, in sacred unions and ceremonies. But ego is with us from the moment we are born until the day we die. So it's the longest relationship we ever have, really. So instead of wanting to kill it or being negative with it, and sometimes you need to be firm, because another very important aspect of what we do is we help people learn to establish boundaries, because a lot of us really struggle with saying no, choosing ourselves, setting boundaries and saying, what, like, I hear you, but no, like, thank you. And, for me, boundaries are not walls, they're bridges, and I get to decide when and how those bridges are used.
Oh, I love that. Boundaries are not just doors, they're bridges that I get
Exactly.
to, or when this happens, or what I let into my own life.
And
That's
that
so beautifully, so powerfully explained. My gosh, you two are amazing.
And
Yeah.
I'm curious about the name of your ego
her
because you
name is
said what is the name?
Lola.
Lola. And is
Yeah,
a reason for it?
mischievous and very someone who doesn't get to listen. And really, Lolita is a very, really very sexual name, because there is a book about this very very sexual being, Lolita. And through my story, I had to rediscover my sexuality, because I was, quite timid at some point, and that's why I've decided that Lolita slash Lola is someone who is, a little
Wild.
sexy, a little mischievous, a little, misbehaving, and I get to have conversations with her and say, what, like, I love you, but that's enough.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
beautiful way to have a relationship with it, so you can change the perspective as
Exactly,
to
it helps a
the
lot.
perspective of the negative to turn it into the positive.
then you even give it a name. That's interesting. I never tried that. But okay, so any final words? Okay, this is one of our first episodes. I mean, we had 4 episodes being recorded. You are our fifth guest here. We're so happy to have you. So, as we close this space, because you share so many nuggets of wisdom, how do you want to leave people with?
Well, from my part, first of all, thank you so much for having us on your podcast, and we're so excited that we're here in the beginning of this journey. And love you, ladies. You're wonderful humans. We love this space. We love doing, our space, and we're looking forward to many amazing events together. Um, for those who would be interested about knowing a little more about what we do, they can visit pluginmind.com for more information on what we offer and what we're all about, our stories. And yes, I'm just very grateful for you, and I'm very excited for the future.
Yes, thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
from me,
thank
words,
yes.
I just wanted to say, if everyone could sit with themselves and decide that they're going to live the best life that they can possibly dream up, and feel that energy, and instead of contraction, experience expansion and curiosity. And what if there's a small chance, very unlikely chance, we can actually dream it up, decide, execute, while being supported by a family that is a human family, and actually live it? Wouldn't that be exciting? The greatest thing to me is that it has already happened. We just haven't accepted it yet. But it's done. Only if you decide. No more money, no other partner, no anything, nothing is needed. Just an honest reflection and decision that this is the life that I'm going to live to the fullest. And if the spark ignites, it will spread. And I really hope that it is exponential, because there is no other way. At least I decided for myself that my journey is going to be outstanding. Very humbly.
That is so, so uplifting. I mean, I love the question. What if there is a small chance that you can live the extraordinary life that you have dreamed of? What if there is that small chance and you can give that to yourself? So thank you for doing the work that you're doing. We are broadcasting live from Atertunti Holistic Retreat in Costa Rica. You can visit us on our website, and also you can follow us on Instagram. We'll be happy to connect with you. Send us a message. We actually connect with our clients personally. Thank you so much for this beautiful share, and you have for honoring us with your presence here. So we'll see you soon. We're going down to give you a hug. Thank you, everyone. Ciao.
Thank you so much.